Hi guys, this is CK at CK Education, and today I want to talk about your inner drives, your inner passions, and why you should pursue them. I think this is such an important part of life that so many people miss and have regrets later in life. You might be a young professional, you might even be a student. Maybe you're 50 years old. It doesn't really matter. Some of the most accomplished people in history have begun things much later in life, some at 60, 70 years old. The difference was these people weren't afraid to pursue the passions that they had, but so many people are afraid. I heard of a recent survey that was given out on LinkedIn, the social media networking site. And they asked this question and they said, what is the one thing that you regret the most in your career, in your life? And these are professionals, these are entrepreneurs. And the number one thing that came up, they said, was people regretted not pursuing the things that they had a passion for, not pursuing the things that they really wanted to do. They wanted to try it, but they didn't take the risk. They didn't do it. And they just ignored it. And then they went on, and life went on, and years went by, decades went by, and they look back, they're 50 years old. Maybe they're even only 40 years old. I say only 40 because I'm almost 50 now. This is kind of a scary number, but people go on in life and they regret not doing the things that they wanted to do. Now, I'm not talking about. Let me just make a little distinction here. People say things like, a lot of young people. I teach teenagers. A lot of teenagers have said to me over the years, Mr. Kim, you only live once, right? They even have a little acronym for it. You only live once. YOLO, they say, right? You only live once. At first I heard that, I was like, YOLO, what are you talking about? And they said, you only live once. I said, oh, okay. People come up with acronyms all the time, and I have a hard time keeping up with these. But, so you only live once. Yeah, we only live once. But look, there's a certain view about this. Some people think, yeah, you only live once. So what the heck? Just do whatever you want. Just have fun. Don't plan for who cares? Just do what you want. Enjoy your life. You might die tomorrow. This is not so different than the very ancient sort of proverb, I don't know if it's a proverb, it's a saying. And it's even in the scriptures. And, drink and be merry, for tomorrow we die. This is even in the writings of St. Paul. This has been going on. This kind of you only live once and just do whatever you want. You might die tomorrow, so who cares? That is not what I'm talking about. I don't live by that mantra that just we might die, so life is short. You only live once, so just what the heck? Just do whatever you want. I think that's a foolish way to live. Okay, I am all for having fun. Don't get me wrong, but there's a difference between that and being reckless. Okay. When I'm talking about, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about you only live once and just have a lot of fun, just do whatever you want and screw the consequences. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what God created us for. That's not what our purpose in life is. That's a very foolish way to live. All right. I'm talking about the deep desires and passions that you have in your heart. There's a person out there who in their heart, I just want to really write a book. I really, really want to write about this specific topic, and it's been in my heart, in my mind, it's been just brewing for years, and I just can't get rid of it. I try to ignore it, but I just can't get rid of it. I really feel like I need to do it. Okay, so the thing is, then why not just do it? Because here's always the thing. I want to do it, but there's always the but. But what? But I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid that I can't get it published. A publisher is not going to accept me. I'm afraid that even if I do get it published, people are going to criticize me. I'm afraid that even if I publish it, when I publish it, nobody's going to buy my book. There's going to be no interest. I'm going to be so dejected. I'm going to feel rejected. I'm going to feel like a loser. I'm going to feel like, I wasted my time. This part is the part that people need to be careful of. I always tell people, don't not do something because you're afraid of the consequences. If that's something you really feel in your heart, It's been going on for a long time. It's been brewing in your heart. You know it's something that you must do, that you really want to do, and it just won't go away. You know, I like Ken Jeong, the comedian, the Korean comedian, Korean American comedian, and a lot of people now know that he is a medical doctor. Okay, so think about this guy. He went to Duke Medical School, he went to Duke University Medical School. I mean, this guy is just brilliant. And it's very tough to get into medical school, and it's very tough to become a doctor. I mean, the road there is long and difficult, right? And so Ken Jeong was a doctor for years, and he was a primary care physician. But deep in his heart, he always had, ever since college, he says, I always had this desire to be a comedian and act. And so he married his wife, and his wife encouraged him, because his wife knew him really well, said, hey, Ken, you know you want to be a comedian. You know you want to go into comedy and be an actor. Just go for it. Just go for it. Just do it. Now, what kind of thoughts do you think that went through his mind when his wife said that? And now, I'm sure he felt confirmed, and he felt like, wow, that's wonderful that my wife supports me. But think of in his head, man, I'm leaving I went through medical school. How much studies have I done? The long, difficult road, the years and years and years of study and the student loans, whatever it is, to get through and just to get into medical school, taking the MCAT test and going through all that. And he's been a primary care physician for years. And now just give it all up and just jump into the abyss, just jump into the unknown. And what if he fails? What if what if he doesn't get a good reception? What if he just utterly fails and he has no popularity, nobody accepts him, nobody gives him a role in a movie or a show, or he just flops? What if, I'm sure all these things must have been going through his head. And so I heard him in an interview one time, and he said, I got my wife's support, and so I called my dad. Now, Ken Jeong has a very different dad than most Asian guys, And if you're Asian, you understand what I'm talking about. Think about calling your dad, sons, if you're the son. Think about calling dad. First of all, most of us wouldn't even call our dads about this, right? Most Asian guys don't even have a relationship with their dads to even call their dads about this comfortably. So he calls his dad, and his dad is a professor at a historically black college and university, I believe, in Georgia somewhere. And so this guy, the dad is a wonderful, wonderful man, from what I can get from what I've heard and seen in the interviews and so forth. So Ken Jeong calls his dad and says, hey, Dad, I want to talk to you about something. And the dad says, yeah. He says, well, I was thinking of leaving my profession as a doctor and going into comedy, going into acting. So his dad listens to this, and most Asian dads are you crazy? Are you talking, what are you talking about? Do you know what I did to put you through medical school and all this stuff? His dad didn't do that. His dad listened carefully and said, well, son, in making a big life decision like this, you need the support of your family. And you're married now. Your wife is your family. What did your wife say? So Ken's like, well, she's the one who brought it up. She's the one who encouraged me to do it, to take the leap. And the dad says to Ken Jeong, well, if your wife supports you, your family supports you, I'm all behind you. So go ahead and do it. I support you. Man, what kind of confidence, enthusiasm, approval that Ken Jeong must have felt. And we know what happened. He goes on Hangover Part 2, whatever, and he's on TV all the time, and he does his little dance, and he's very popular. He's very free. He's just being who he needs to be. This is something that he just couldn't hold down in his heart. He knew for some reason he had to be a comedian. He had to go and be acting. Doctor wasn't his thing. Maybe for a little time, but not forever. And he's hugely successful. Now, a lot of people look at success and say, yeah, I want to be successful, so I want to do this. It's not focusing on, I want to be rich, I want to be successful. Ken Jeong didn't know that he was going to be successful. He didn't know that he was going to hit it big. He just knew that he had to follow his heart. Denzel Washington, everybody, one of my favorite actors. I love Denzel Washington. I love all his movies, and he's one of my favorite, if not my favorite actor. And Denzel Washington gave a commencement speech at a college one time. I listened to that, and he said something so good, something I so agree with. And he said that when you have that passion in your heart, when you have that desire in your heart to do something, it is strong. It is never ending. It is something that you cannot get rid of. It is already, and you're wondering, should I do it or not? And he's saying, it is already God's message to you to go do that thing. And what we do is people often get so afraid of the results. Before we even start, we're already thinking about, what if I fail? What if it doesn't happen? What if I'm not well receptive? What if people are not receptive to me? What if I'm not popular? What if I'm not a success? What if I don't make a lot of money? What if it flops? We think of the negative consequences that could happen before we even begin. We have so little faith in ourselves. We have so little faith in God. We have so little faith in the innate desire, the passion that we have. Listen, the stuff that we have inside of us that we feel very strongly about, that's not random. That's not just there to, oh, well, I don't know, I just got this feeling one day. Again, it's something I'm talking about that is ongoing. It's not a whim. It's not like one day I woke up and I thought, maybe I want to try this, and then it went away tomorrow. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about things that are inside that just won't go away. You know, when I was working as a man, I mean, I got a lot of stories going all the way back to, just college and graduating college. But, I can honestly tell you that I didn't really let fear or my concerns about whether I would be successful in that thing or not dictate whether I did that thing or not. If I really felt strongly about it, I just did it. I can tell you that in my career, I really have no regrets. I don't have anything where I think back and man, I should have tried that. I wanted to do it. I should have tried it. I don't really have that because I tried it. When I graduated college, I just wanted to make money. My parents didn't have a lot of money. I just wanted to make a lot of money. I just wanted to make money. I wanted to make a living for myself. I wanted to be independent. And so I wasn't so concerned about the prestige or title or anything like that. I just wanted to get a job. I just wanted to do something that I enjoyed, that I could do. And so right out of college, as some of you who know me know, I went right into sales. I didn't even need a college degree for that. And I have an engineering degree. I certainly didn't need an engineering degree for that, but I did it. I just want to do it. I saw the ad in the newspaper at that time, and I just felt in my heart, I want to go interview. That's it. I want to go interview for that job right there. And so I did, and it was almost like within a week. I just went. Maybe it was within a couple of days. I went and interviewed twice, and I got the job. I went into sales, I went into management, went into recruiting. Didn't know how it was going to turn out, but it turns out that in my career now, looking back, it was one of the most important skills that I could ever have in my career, which was sales. And so I spent 2 years just learning sales and perfecting and mastering sales and how important that was. And then I just felt really deeply that I can't do this. This is not my thing. So I didn't ignore that. I went into engineering, and at that time, if you knew my condition, I mean, I graduated college, not a great GPA. I was not confident at all in my engineering skills or knowledge because I really didn't have any. And then I went to sales, and then that was a completely foreign field. Now I want to go back to engineering. I have zero experience. My GPA was not, I don't remember anything from school. So what business do I have applying to an engineering job? But I did. And I got that job. And the very reason I got that job, later someone was telling me, yeah, we had this whole stack of resumes. We picked 2 people, and one of them was you. And the reason we picked you, because you had a very different background. You were in sales and management. Everybody else just did engineering. I was like, what? That's the thing that I thought would hold me back, but that's the thing that actually appealed to them. So, you just never know. So I got the engineering job, and I did that for 3 years. And when I was doing that, at that company for 3 years, I did engineering for I don't know, 12 years or something. But so in that, I just had this strong desire to go learn something from these Japanese consultants, these Shingijutsu consultants. And in a different previous video, I talked about them, my experience with them. And it's a profound experience because very few human beings get to ever work with these guys. And I got to work with them and learn from them for 3 years. And so that changed my career and my understanding about processes and about people and about business and about, and profit and things like this. And so problems. And so I really learned how to look at problems, how to solve problems, using their philosophy, the just-in-time Toyota production system philosophy. It changed my career, changed my thinking. And I didn't know going into engineering that that would happen, but I just knew that I wanted to do that. I knew that when I was sort of given that opportunity, for some reason, I really wanted to learn from these guys. So I just stuck with them like a leech, and I just absorbed all the information they were teaching, and I just, I just did this. So, and then, did that for a while, and I had this strong desire after that to move with my mentor, Sonder. He was one of my, just a wonderful guy, and he moved companies to Genie Industries. And I just knew I got to follow that guy. I want to go where he is, and I want to learn more from him. And so I moved to Genie Industries. And after working there for a little bit, I had this strong desire, like, this is not where I'm not going to spend my entire career here. I want to put my resume out there. And I put it out nationwide. And to make a long story short, I got several offers, and I ended up in Washington, D.C., completely on the other side of the country. And I worked there for 6 years. And little did I know that when I got there, I had the most incredible, wonderful boss I've ever met, Tom, and I've talked about him in some of my videos. What a wonderful man, wonderful. He's like a father to me, really. And so Tom was my boss, and boy, I mean, I just had a wonderful time there, and I was selected as one of 17 best in the business in my industry in all of North America. Now, this is me, who barely graduated college with a kind of respectable GPA. I just tried to get out of college and just graduate. I had zero confidence at all in my engineering knowledge or skills. I was so scared. I didn't even go into that. And then finally I get back into engineering, and I'm published in a magazine, and I get known for and I didn't know. I didn't anticipate that. I didn't expect that even. In fact, when my boss called me one day, he says, "Hey, tomorrow, what's your schedule like? Because I got this lady from this magazine. She's going to call you. She's going to interview you." It took me aback. I didn't even know what he's talking about. I said, what are you talking about, Tom? Like, and I didn't even know that I was nominated. I didn't even know that I was selected. So things like that happen. And then, and then it got to a certain time, about 5.5 years, and I got this deep desire to, no, I want to do something else. And so I became an IT project manager for a federal agency. And that was weird because that only lasted about 10 months. And I had a very strong desire. I don't want to do this anymore. I never had that kind of desire in such a short period of time. It was weird at the time. And up to that point, I've had 12 interviews in my career, and I've gotten 12 job offers. I had a perfect record. So going into, I was very confident, and I thought, I'll just get another job. So I interviewed. But weirdly enough, after that 10-month stint at the federal agency, I had an interview, and it seemed to go well. And the guy says, "Yeah, we're going to go ahead with this." But later he called and said, "I'm sorry, we didn't get the funding," and it didn't work out. This was the first time that this happened in my career. And so, but I had this desire that I wanted to work for myself, but I was scared. I had the same fears of everybody else. And so, but I knew this is what I had to do. So again, to make a long story short, it's already long. But I went out and I ventured on my own. And 13 years later, now I've been an entrepreneur. Some people call it a solopreneur. I think that's more appropriate. Solopreneur is really what I am. An entrepreneur, yes, but a sort of a subsection of entrepreneurship is solopreneurship. Solopreneur is just going at it yourself. You're not into hiring people, growing and having multiple locations, franchising. I'm not into that at all. I just like doing my thing. And basically I'm just by myself doing my thing. That is the way I prefer it. Solopreneurship. And so I've been doing this 13 years in, and I love it. It's been a huge success. I mean, I have students and have had students in 12 different states, and just I have a year-long waiting list all year long. And my fees are not low. I mean, I charge one of the highest fees in the areas, if not the highest, and yet I have a waiting list. And I'm very thankful and humbled by that. But I'm looking back, and I just think, man, and I didn't even tell you about the things that I did that I wanted to do in real estate. I did that. I was a real estate investor for 10 years. I wanted to try my hand in stocks and mutual funds and real estate investment trusts and index funds. And I did all that for many years. So I tried all these things. I wanted to do day trading. I tried that. I wanted to do penny stock trading. I tried that. I tried IPOs. You name it. I tried it. I tried it. And so looking back, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I tried those things, because I know what works. I know what doesn't work. I know that what I'm doing is absolutely what I should be doing. And so all I'm saying is this: And the only reason I share personal stories like that is that I don't want to come off as a guy who's just telling you stuff, advising you on things that I have no experience in myself. I don't listen to people like that. I only like to listen to people who have done it themselves, who are doing what they're saying should be done, who have done or who are doing what they are advising other people to do. So, look, if you have this deep desire, if you have a passion in you, you know, for some reason, maybe it doesn't even make sense, but for some reason inside of you, you have this desire. I know I have to do this. I know I want to do this, and it just doesn't go away. And you have thought about it, you have tried to rationalize it away, but it just doesn't go away. And in your heart, you just know I don't know why. I don't even know how I'm going to do it. I don't even know like how the outcome is going to be. I might fail. I have no experience in this, it might even be. But I want to encourage you, take the steps today. The little steps. Maybe you got to learn something. Maybe you got to take classes. Maybe you have to do whatever it is, but take steps to get there, because that is not something random. That is something that God created us. He put certain gifts inside of us, and those gifts sort of sprout and brew and sort of burn. And so we got to let that out, and we got to go do that thing. So I encourage you, don't be afraid. Don't not do it because you're afraid. Don't not do it because you think the outcome might not be what you expect. Don't worry about the outcome. Just do the thing and just heed the desire and the passion that you have inside of you. That's my advice. I think this is so important. Thanks so much for watching this long video. I think it's come to a long video. It turned out like that. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.